So what I'm going to show you today is how to solve the question above. What are the solutions of the quadratic equation x squared minus 2x equals 48? And what you're trying to do is find the two solutions that will fit in here that will give you a product of 48. Now, one way is to take these numbers and sub them in each time until you get 48. Take this number, sub it in, and if both of them give you 48, then that's the correct answer. I'm going to show you a little different just by using some graphs. Okay, so what we're going to do is, of course, if you haven't already, File, New Document, don't save anything. We're going to go to Graphs, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to put two graphs in. We're going to graph the left side of the equation, and so let's go ahead and write that in. So that's x squared subtract 2x, and that's our first equation. Hit enter. So we have a quadratic. What happens is, this is a linear equation at 48, and the problem is that we're not going to be able to see it on this graph here because it's going to be horizontal at 48, but where they cross the graphs, then we actually can see the answer. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, get off this, sorry about that, escape. We want to go ahead and enter in another graph. So we need to do the history. Okay, now we're going to take a look at solving a quadratic equation and finding the solution. So, in the problem it says, what are the solutions to the quadratic equation x squared minus 2x equals 48? There's several ways to approach this. One is that you could just sub the numbers in. For instance, if I subbed in a negative 12 into the x squared here and also into x here, if I ended up getting 48, that's only part of the solution. I need to also sub in the negative 4 into this. But what we're going to look at is we're actually going to graph this side of the expression of this equation and graph 48 and look to see where they actually intersect. Again, we're trying to find an x variable. Now, it doesn't matter if it's x, y, z, or whatever here. As long as they're the same, we can convert those to x, and that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead. And we are going to go to Document, File. Let's do a new document. We're going to do Graphs this time. And then what we're going to do is we're going to enter both expressions. An expression on this side, which in this case is x squared minus 2x. And now we need to go ahead and enter our next one. I'm just going to click on this. So if you use your little mouse button here to roll over to get you to that spot here, double click, hit enter, and just enter our next part, which is 48. And we hit graph or enter here again. What's happened is actually there are two graphs here. We can't see it. So what we might want to do is we're going to hit menu, we're going to do zoom, and let's just do a zoom fit. Zoom fit tries to put both graphs in at one time. And notice here we are. It looks like one of the intersections is here. Again, we're only looking at the x variable, and we're also looking here, but we really don't know what they are that well. So let's go ahead, go back to menu. This time let's do a trace, graph trace. And here's the little cursor right now, so let's use our arrow. Let's go to the right, or left in this case. And what I want to do is get to that intersection. Notice it's very close to negative 6. So one of my answers is going to be negative 6. Let's see, one here, one here. So it's going to be one of these two. I need the other x for over here. So let's go ahead, use the arrow, our trace mode again. All I'm doing is tracing to the other side. Again, I'm just doing a quick estimation. This is a very quick way to do this. What if I wasn't on it perfect, like here, 8.1? I'm going to guess it's 8. So 8, negative 6. So look, this one, I got a negative 8, not it. I got a positive 8 and negative 6. This is my answer. Now, what I could do is I could also go back in and I could actually try to solve this by using the calculator. And I'm going to show you that right now. So what we would do is we would just go back to Document. We would go up to File, New Document. We can save it if you want. I'm not going to. I'm going to go to Calculator, and I'm just going to sub, since this is our answer, in. And what we want to do is get 48 on this side of the equation. So we have negative 6. Again, one of the most important things is to put parentheses around these things. Negative 6, close parentheses, then square it. Subtract 2x, or in this case 2 times, in parentheses, negative 6. Close parentheses, enter. I got 48. So we know the negative 6 is correct. We can go back and do the 8 the exact same way. I'll go ahead and do fast. Okay, I went in and put my stuff in, hit enter. 48. Notice both answers are 48. They are equal or equivalent to 48. So therefore D is the correct answer. Either one of these methods works, but I wanted to show you that graphing the left side and the right side and where the intersections are actually give us the answer.